Welcome to math, everybody. We're winding down our polynomials unit, and the last topic we are going to tackle is dividing polynomials, specifically a polynomial by a binomial. To get started, here's a quote I love. The difference between the novice and the master is that the master has failed more times than the novice has tried. We are in your notes dividing a polynomial by a binomial. And if we remember, division is simply multiplication in reverse. So to understand how to divide a polynomial by a binomial, first let's take a look at this multiplication problem. The quantity x plus 2 times the quantity 3x plus 5. And if we simplify that, we would get the 3x squared here, the 6x here, the 5x here, and the 10 here. We would combine our like terms and end up with 3x squared plus 11x plus 10. But let's think about dividing that trinomial by x plus 2. If we think in terms of a rectangle, one of the dimensions would be x plus 2. How could we then find what this other dimension is? Well, we know that 3x squared is the product of x and something else. So the only way to get 3x squared from x and something else is if that something else is actually a 3x, right? And then that 3x times 2 would give me a 6x. And I know that I need 11x, so therefore I know this has to be a 5x, which means the other part of the dimension has to be a 5, and that gives me my 10. And that's kind of what walks you through this diagram. Now comes the fun. Pure long division. It's kind of an awkward long division symbol there, but I think I had to makeshift that. So watch the process. We are just going to take the first term of our binomial and divide it into the first term of our polynomial. How many times does x go into 3x squared? In other words, 3x squared divided by x is what? Well, it has to be 3x. Now I'm going to multiply that 3x by the entire binomial. So what is 3x times x plus 2? It's 3x squared plus 6x. Now remember, in long division, now we subtract. The key here is you have to remember that you need to subtract both parts of this. I need to subtract the 3x squared, and I need to subtract the second term of that binomial, which is 6x. The 3x squareds cancel to 0, and 11x minus 6x is 5x. I bring down my 10, that's a plus 10, and then I divide again just the first term, x, into 5x. So how many times does x go into 5x? Or 5x divided by x is simply 5. Now again, I will multiply 5 by the entire binomial. So 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. And when I subtract both of those, minus 5x minus 10, I get 0. So 3x squared plus 11x plus 10 divided by x plus 2 is 3x plus 5. So you're going to have some fun going back and remembering the true process for long division. Now there is a little tip at the bottom here, and if we read that together, before attempting to divide one polynomial into another, it is helpful to arrange both in descending order, and then if there are missing terms, use a coefficient of 0. This is going to be very helpful when you're dividing something like negative 64 plus x to the third by x minus 4. So the first thing I want to do is put my highest power first, and then notice I filled in my missing terms so that I have a descending power of 1 each time. I will do an example like that for you. Before we do that, I would like you to complete these two tables and work on problems 1 and 2. Alrighty, up at the top, I've filled in the box. I also gave the product. So in the first case, the product here and the product in the second example. Then I show my long division for each of the next two examples. We first divide x cubed by x, giving us x squared. X squared multiplied by x plus 5 gives me x cubed minus 5x squared. I subtract, the x cubes drop out, and I get negative 3x squared minus 8x. Then I divide negative 3x squared by x, giving me negative 3x. And when I multiply negative 3x by x plus 5, I get negative 3x squared minus 15x, but I have to subtract that whole binomial, giving me plus 3x squared and plus 15x. So I'm left with 7x, bring down the 35, and look at that, no remainder. The next example also shown, so check that out. Now example 3 is the one that requires our little trick. So what we're going to want to do is put in fillers for the missing terms of x. So for 0x cubed, 0x squared, 0x minus 25. So if you're going to write the dividend, this would be it, and that's going to be divided by 2x minus 5. So fun. Pause here. Try this fun little example on your own and come back and check with me. Look at that masterful piece of work. How fun is this? And we did not get a remainder. So if you had any issues, you can pause here and check it out. A lot of times the issues come from us forgetting to distribute that negative, or sometimes we have problems when we're not bringing things down neatly. So you're going to want to watch for a little neatness on these because they can get kind of complicated if you don't keep track of your work. Great job. I'm sure you're going to have fun with these as we move forward. Have a great day.